The best way to become a successful network marketer is to find out the top habits of people that have what you want to have achieved what you want to achieve, and then model what they do. And today I'm going to give you 7 habits of successful network marketers. As we get started, I want to share with you one of my favorite quotes from pastor and leadership expert Craig Groeschel. It's one of my favorites. He said, "Successful people do consistently what others do occasionally." And that's so true. A lot of times, if you're looking at someone else going, wow, they're doing things that I could never do, that's probably not true, right? People go, man, leaders are born. Well, I mean, it's true. All of us are born. But we're not born leaders. Those are things that we learn as we go along the way. And leaders they're consistent. They're consistently growing. They're consistently working on getting a little bit better. They've learned how to manage their mentality, their priorities, their behaviors, their actions, which brings me to habits. Habits keep us going when we start facing the obstacles and the pressures, and we don't feel like doing what we need to do. And let me share with you a definition that I found when it comes to habit. A habit is a settled tendency or usual manner of behavior that has become nearly or completely involuntary. You just do it automatically. And then Brian Tracy said 95% of what you do or say is determined by your habits, good or bad. So at first we create our habits, and then our habits create us. So let's talk about some good habits that successful leaders do so you can start to incorporate these things into your daily routine and your activities. By the way, habits are not skills. A skill is where you have the capacity or the expertise to do something, where a habit is something that you do on a routine basis. Now, let's talk about the first habit, which is they set goals consistently. If you aim at nothing, you're more likely to hit it. And if you want to be 10 times more successful, all right, let's just cut to the chase. Harvard did a study and they showed that the 14% of people, and this was a study that went on for many years, that the 14% of the people that actually had goals were 10 times more successful. So if you want to be 10 times more successful, a great way is you start setting goals and you set them consistently, because that's what successful leaders do. That's one of their habits that they continually do over and over and over again. And by the way, if you write your goals down while we're talking about goals, you're 42% more likely to achieve those goals. So just setting goals and writing them down definitely sets you up for success, because what it does, it gives you something to aim toward, and it gives you a destination. And so what you focus on, you attract. And then we move in the direction of those expectations. So it allows you to really laser focus, which starts to eliminate distractions. And when you have goals, you don't let things get in your way that you normally would if you didn't have those goals. You may have heard before, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. So when you aim at something, you're more likely to hit it. So make sure that you're consistently setting goals along the way. Remember to continue to set goals, because goal setting guides you to make decisions with intent and in purpose so that you can achieve your dreams. Now, once you've set your goals, this makes the second habit a little bit easier to do, which is plan your day. So when you know where you're going, then you start identifying, okay, what are the high payoff activities that are going to get me to where I want to be? And what I encourage you to do is always plan your day before it begins, the day before. Now, some people like to do it at night. For me, mentally, by nighttime, I'm done. So maybe it's a set time every single day when you're having your lunch, or maybe it's a mid-afternoon snack or coffee or whatever it may be. You set time to plan the day before it starts. This allows you to be proactive, be very intentional, and that way you're controlling your day and you're not waking up and then letting the day control you. Now, a couple tips on planning your day before it begins. Only write down about 3 to 5 things on your must-do list for the next day. So you can have a future to-do list, But if you have a must-do list, you start to go, okay, if I put these down, I do not go to bed unless these 3 to 5 things are done. When you know you can only put down 3 to 5 things, it forces you to prioritize going, which of these things are going to get me closer to my goals? Then you can put the other things on a future to-do list, knowing that once you get those other things done, then you can go to that list. So it forces you to prioritize. When you do it the day before, it empties your mind. It helps you sleep better. Also, it allows your subconscious to work on those things throughout the night. And so planning your day is definitely a habit of successful leaders, and I encourage you to start that today. Another tip, one step beyond that, which is something that I missed for many years but makes a massive difference, is look at your calendar and pencil in when you're going to do the 3 to 5 things that you put down on your list. So once again, this allows you and forces you to be proactive, to be intentional. It forces you to focus on the high payoff activities, your profit producing activities, your money making activities. And then it also being able to plan the day before. When you go to bed at night, you can sleep so much better knowing you've emptied your mind down. Your next day is already set up. Instead of feeling stressed out and waking up feeling that pressure, you're excited to get up knowing that you have a plan for that day. So I encourage you, if you want to wake up refreshed, with intention, with purpose, and excited about crushing your day, start implementing this into your daily habits. Number 3, establish routines. Now, what's the difference between a habit and a routine? A habit is something that you do repeatedly without a lot of thought to it. For example, let's say if you sneeze and you just automatically cover your mouth, that's a habit. Hope you do anyway. And a routine is a set of habits that you do a lot of times in a certain order. So let's say, for example, you get up at a certain time every single morning, you go work out, you take a shower, then you do devotions or you plan your day, whatever it may be. Those habits create a routine. And the great thing about routines is they can increase your productivity and your effectiveness. Now, you may be saying, Darin, a routine sounds kind of boring, but here's the great thing about a routine. It helps you be more accountable. It helps you be more productive. It helps reduce overwhelm and eliminate distractions. So just implementing those daily routine and habits, it's amazing what happens, because at first you create your habits, you create your routines, then they create you. And the way that I like to look at a routine, it's a framework that allows me to accomplish my goals. So let's say that you're wanting to go out and get a certain number of customers or a certain number of, reps into your business this month. What are the daily routines that you can focus on? You just do them whether you feel like it or not. Maybe it's a certain amount of reach outs every day during your lunch break at work. Maybe it's certain follow-ups. Maybe it's things on social media. And then when you continue to follow those routines day after day, the compounding effect makes a massive difference in your life and your business. Today's episode is brought to you by rankupandlead.com. It's a free resource that I created because I've noticed there are 5 common mistakes that I see that leaders make. And so if you want to learn how to avoid them so you can grow your team much faster, make sure to check out that free resource. The next habit, number 4, is nurture a positive mindset. If we ever want to become a successful leader, I remember telling one of my mentors years ago when I was struggling, when I get to where you are and I've made millions of dollars and I have a big team, then I will start doing those things at that point. And he's like, Darin, that's the wrong attitude. That attitude comes before the paycheck and before the big team, not the other way around. If you want to become a successful leader, you've got to act like one. You've got to think like one. And Darin, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So if you want to make more, you need to become more. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. One of the keys to being a successful leader, not just in business, but in life, is your mindset. It's the way you look at the world and it's the way you look at yourself, because it affects your actions, your behaviors, your responses. So it is really important to feed your mind the right things, to think about what you're thinking about. Now, if you've ever planted a garden, or if you're like me, I don't really plant gardens, but I have family members that do, and I've watched what they do. You don't have to plant weeds. The weeds automatically show up. You have to make sure that you continually pull the weeds, or they will take over everything else. So, if you want to continue to have a positive mindset and nurture your mindset, you have to not only think about what you think about, but you have to be very aware of what you allow into the gates, your eyes and your ears. You don't have to plant weeds, and you don't have to search out negative in your everyday life. It's at the grocery store, in the checkout line. It's on news. It's on social media. You have to learn to block the negative and fuel the positive to nurture your mindset every single day. And it's not something you go, hey, look, I did this once, I'm done. It is a day by day, moment by moment thing. And remember, the only type of motivation that lasts, if we're waiting on something external to motivate us every single day, it will never work. The only type that lasts is that internal motivation. And anything that we ever win, anything that we ever achieve, we're going to win and achieve in our head first. And that has to do with your mindset. Number 5, something very simple, but it's read more. Now, if you're like me, I like to listen to the audio version a lot more than I like to read. However, what I do is I will actually buy the book. So I have the paper copy in front of me. I buy the Audible version. And then what I do is I will look at it while I'm listening to it. Then I can make notes and I can highlight. And so leaders are readers, and success leaves clues. Okay, Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest people in the entire world. Okay, if you don't know this, let me know in the comments. What do you guess? Like, what would you think someone like a Warren Buffett, how much time he would spend every day? He's already one of the wealthiest people in the world reading. Well, you're going to hear it before you write your comment down anyway, but it's okay. 6 hours a day is what he spends reading every single day. He encourages you to read 500 pages a day. No, I'm not saying you have to go out and read 6 hours a day, but can you read a little bit every single day? Well, just 10 pages a day is about a book a month. That's about 100 books in 10 years, where most people hadn't even read 10. That compounding effect is huge. Warren Buffett said that knowledge works like compound interest. I believe it was Bob Proctor that said, once your mind expands, it can never go back. And you may go, Darin, hey, look, I'm so busy. I don't really have a whole lot of time to read. Just do it while you're doing other things. Like in the morning when I'm getting ready, I'm making sure that I'm listening and filling my mind with the right things. At night before I go to bed, I do the same thing. Sometimes when I'm working on other projects, I have things playing in the background, knowing my subconscious is always recording. So leaders or readers, make sure that you're investing in your growth. So make sure that you're spending time every single day, expanding your knowledge and continuing to grow and learn. All right, number 6. Yeah, it's so simple. You're going to go, Darin, this is common knowledge. Like, you don't need to really tell me this. It's not what we know, it's what we do with what we know. And that is prioritize exercise and rest. Here's what's fascinating. Richard Branson said that exercising adds 4 hours of productivity to his day. So we know that when you feel better, when you're healthier, you're going to be more productive. You're going to be more alert. You're going to be more creative. When it comes to rest, I'm the one that used to say, hey, listen, I'll rest when I'm dead. I don't really need to sleep. I'm going to continue to push. That's not a really good model. As I was sharing with my kids, I'm like, look, you wouldn't buy an expensive new car and go, look, I'm going to go to the gas station down the street. The rumor is they have water in the gas. It's terrible gas, but it's okay. It's only half the price of every other place. We would never think about doing that because we know that once we did that, we go, why is my car running so bad? Well, it's because we put bad gas in the car. Well, the car is replaceable. We are not. So it's very important to remember to keep focus on exercise and rest because we only get one body, right? And we want to make sure that we're taking care of it the best possible way that we can. And then in return, that's going to allow us to be more productive and get more done in the time that we have to work. Because Peter Drucker said, look, it's not how much you do, it's the effectiveness of what you do. And I know when I get my rest, when I exercise, I feel so much better and I get so much more done in less time. And last but not least, habit number 7, walk the talk. Leaders lead. Leadership is visual. When it comes to being a leader, our actions and our words should match. And I don't know if you've ever heard this, but it's one of my favorite sayings, and I'm not sure who even said it, but they go, your actions are speaking so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. In other words, we can say one thing and do another. It doesn't work. Leadership is visual. So successful leaders make sure that they never ask their organization to do things that they're not willing to do themselves. They make sure that they walk the talk. I don't know about you, but let me know in the comments if you agree. Would you rather watch a leader than listen to one any day of the week? Thanks for tuning in to today's video. Do me a favor, for more videos just like this, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.